Good morning and welcome to Eating with Dagmar. I'm Dagmar Stansova, and today I'm going to make one of my favorite breakfasts, which I haven't done for a long time. I try not to do anything all the time. It's a good way to get your body used to processing different things. But whatever I have or whatever I eat, whether it's cooked or raw, is always going to be the highest quality food that I could find. The cleanest food that I could find, always organic, no matter what. Even if, sometimes it says organic, it's not, it's still better than completely non organic. So I realize um, you can't be pure. None of us can be pure, but we certainly can make a good effort, go the extra mile, and shop from farmers and talk to the farmers, because it's not about being certified organic. It's about how you actually grow, because some farmers can't afford to be certified. But you can look in their eyes when you go to the farmers market. You can ask them questions. You can look at their produce and you can feel, are they farming with integrity? Are they farming out of love and passion? Are they lying or telling the truth? Usually we can sense that. So today I'm going to make a salmon salad. Now you could do this, you could do you could do it with tuna fish, you could do it with sardines, make sardines taste completely like tuna fish. You could do it with cooked salmon, you could do it with cooked tuna, you could do it with sardines, or you could use canned tuna. I get this. This is my most favorite company, Vital Choice. Their food is just really, their fish, mostly fish, is just sustainably caught, and also their practices. When they catch the fish, they immediately they freeze it immediately, so that it's very low in histamines, which is one reason some people just can't do salmon or other fish, because of the high histamine content. So the more something sits around, the more meat, or fish, or the more histamines build up on it. So, all right, enough of that. I'm going to make and this is a really fast and easy, and whatever you got in the house you can use. Like today, I went to the farmer's market this weekend and I got these beautiful sweet just the color of these. I mean, is this I want a dress with these two colors. That would be a great dress. Or earrings made in this color would be amazing. But of course, no, see, I have all these images running through my mind, but that would never work. Well, I don't know. Calling me hot tamale earrings. But you could only wear them like one day. Okay. Um, so enough foolishness. And what I'm going to do, since I don't eat any grains, I love to say that I have always been against the grain. I, my whole life, my whole way of being, living, and my way of making art and all that is always against the grain. And that's just who I am. My father was kind of like that. We used to call him a contrarian. I'm not exactly a contrarian. I don't disagree just for the fact of, just for disagreeing. But I definitely, how I live is against the grain. And I've taken it to its full expression of against the grain, that I actually don't, I am against the grain. I don't eat them. So I'm going to create, instead of bread or whatever, rolls, or I will create something to put the salmon salad on. And it will be either a piece of this pepper, it could be a piece of, what else could you use? Like a, what's that leaf called? Collard green, like a piece of collard green. That's from my raw vegan days, except I combine the raw vegan with fish. The collard green is from the raw vegan days, but it can serve as or even better than that is just plain old romaine lettuce. it's the mildest, and it's got the nice crunch and a little bit of sweetness. So I just would put the salad, tuna salad or salmon salad into it. But now what I got here is my homemade pickles, which there's a recipe for, my 3-day pickles. And I got my homemade mustard, which there is a recipe for on my ever-growing Eating with Dagmar show. And this is my homemade mayonnaise. And I got these peppers. So I'm going to clean these peppers. So I don't eat a lot of vegetables, and when I do eat them, I eat them just for decorative and subtle flavor shifts. All the this is a pretty high lectin vegetable. Well, actually, what am I saying? This is a fruit. This is a fruit, as is avocado, as is this stunning tomato, and this one that came from my garden. They're all fruits. The lectins in these fruits are in the seeds, which I had just removed, and in the skin, which to remove the skin from a tomato is really easy. I just peel it just like that. But from a pepper, you have to kind of warm it. You do have to heat it, which will destroy a lot of the enzymes, and you can peel, it will peel off. But so I figured I eat so low lectin anyway that my body is just fine with having a couple of lectins once in a while. Live it up. Have a lectin. Don't be frightened of the toxic lectins that vegetables and fruits make in order to defend themselves. That's all they are. They're just proteins that plants use to defend themselves with. So they can make the stomach of the animal that eats them, and sometimes the animal being human, upset. You can create an upset stomach, or pains in the joints. Pain in the joints. Some people get that from nightshades in particular. But I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about many things. I am very meticulous and picky, but I'm not doing it out of worry. I'm not going like, oh my God, I can't eat a lectin, it's gonna kill me. Or, oh my God, I'm against the grains, so I'm not gonna eat any grains. Well, just the other day, I went to the farmer's market and I bought some focaccia for one of my neighbors. And then when I brought it to their house, I proceeded to eat it because I had my raw butter with me. So I ate a bunch of focaccia bread with like this much raw butter on it. It was delicious. It was fine. My body wasn't thrilled, but it was okay. In, out, I can process it, right? So here we have the peppers ready. And now I'm going to use an old-fashioned can opener. Aren't these sweet? I know you probably have modern things that work electronically, but I like to keep myself as low-tech as possible as I speak into the high-tech laptop. So now I'm just old school way opening this can, and again, everybody's like, oh my God, canned food, it's gonna have mercury in it. Not as much mercury as the filling in your teeth has. So this is just plain salmon with some sea salt. So I'm going to, gosh, I want to decant this water, but because my water here is not really legal and it goes into the creek, I don't know if I want to do that. To get the bears all excited, they're going to smell that. I don't know. I think what I'm going to do, what I usually do, is I will take a bag and I will pour, and hope that there's no hole in the bag, and I will pour out the salmon water into the bag instead of into the sink. But you probably live in a more civilized manner, so you can probably pour it directly into the sink. You don't have to deal with this kind of shenanigans that I deal with. But, you know, I'm living very close to the environment, and now I'm getting salmon smell all over my hands. I will have to wash my hands. I'm just squeezing out the water because I'm going to put in my mayonnaise. And that's the flavor that I want, not the watery stuff. Okay, made a little bit of a mess. This isn't exactly like licking cheesecake off my hands. I'm not going to lick this. And once again, I'm using my hand to put it into a bowl. This is a really good quality, even though it's canned. It's a really good quality. They most cans they cook it twice, outside the can and then in the can. This one they only cook it once in the can. So now I will rinse the salmon off my hands. And I'm wearing the same thing again, but I have different jewelry. This is what the country will do to you. Before you know it, you're wearing the same thing every day. Okay, so now here we have this beautiful salmon. Now I'm going to keep one of these peppers. It will be like my bread, and the rest I will cut up into the salmon. And truly, this recipe, if it wasn't me talking, it would take you about 5 minutes to make, and it just feels like a very, if you are feeling the need for a protein hit, then this is the meal. And you notice I'm not putting any I'm going to cut up this one too. I'm not putting any onions or garlic or any of those things, because I truly try to avoid those, because they are just onions and garlic, but especially garlic, they open up the blood-brain barrier, and you don't want that blood-brain barrier opening all the time. It's there for a reason. It's there to keep heavy metals and all kinds of crap from going into your brain, thus so you can stay clear-minded. Okay, I'm keeping this, or maybe I'll keep this too. Okay. And I think I mentioned this, I'm sure I mentioned this on other videos. Back in the day when pilots didn't have like the autopilot thing, they were not allowed to eat any Italian or garlic-filled meals before they flew. Because it would slow down their reflexes. Oh, I just took out one of my little pickles and I'm cutting it up. So again, wait, let me first finish the thing about the pilots. It would slow down their reflexes by a huge percentage. So they needed to have fast reflexes when you're flying an airplane. So that tells you, and also there's pretty much any meditation center or ashram will tell you if you go on a retreat, no garlic, no onions, because it makes us kind of lazy, hazy, and not very clear-minded. So I just cut up my homemade 3-day pickle. I'm putting that into it, which is going to give it that nice tartness along with the sweetness of the red pepper. So again, we have sweet, salty, fatty, and sour, because there's already salt in there. And I'm going to put a little more of the pickle. Actually, inside the pickles, I have some pickled, what do you call those? Not onions, but scallions. I thought there was somebody knocking. Sometimes that happens, like a bear will come by, or a turkey, and they'll literally start like tapping on the glass, like, what's for dinner over there? What are you cooking? Am I invited, or why am I not invited? Um, but anyway, so maybe fermented scallion might not be, might give it a little extra zip. Never done it before, but they're right here. Well, let's see if it's interesting or if it's terrible. It's very interesting. I've never had a fermented scallion. That will make an interesting addition to this meal. So I'm taking a couple of them and just gonna throw them in there. And now I will, okay, so that's that. Now I will take some of my raw mustard, which there's a recipe for. I don't know how much. It all depends on your desire. I'm putting in about this much. And then I will take some of my homemade mayonnaise. Isn't it beautiful? And it can last like 2 weeks or more, sometimes even more. I'm putting quite a bit. I like it mayonnaise heavy. And like if it's sardines, then I put less because the sardines are more squishy, or fatty. But the salmon is very kind of dry generally, salmon and tuna. So I always put extra mayonnaise into them. This I will lick. My God. That little bit of honey that I put in the mayonnaise, it just, you could just eat a spoon of that and be like, I'm satisfied. All right. So now, here's our salad. And now you just mush it around. I'm using the fork that used to belong to my father. He drilled a hole in it. And this fork made it all the way from Czechoslovakia back in 1966 or something. We managed to take that with us when we escaped from Czechoslovakia, when we escaped to Israel. This little fork stayed. This little fork is from the old country. And it's just such a good quality fork, you know. It's hardy, it's strong, it can handle, it can take all kinds of abuse, and it never changes its beautiful structure. I laugh to myself because besides what I'm saying out loud, I make commentaries in my own head too, but occasionally I do have an editor, and I do hold myself back, at least on Eating with Dagmar. Not when I'm writing. When I write, I don't hold back. Okay, so look at this beautiful salad. It's like a perfectly fine meal, and then you can eat it just plain, or you could put it on a piece of raw cheese. And I don't know, what do we call this? Salmon salad on a red pepper boat? I don't know. But really, it could be anything. You could put it on a carrot, slice it that way, or on celery or romaine lettuce. But this is a great little breakfast. So let's see what I created for breakfast. It's just satisfying. It's a full meal, plenty of protein, plenty of flavor, and it's pretty. You could put a sprig of something on top, or slice of raw cheese on top or under. Yeah, so this is breakfast. Is this like the shortest video I ever made? Let's see, how long is this? Oh no, it's not. Oh, But really, you could see that this wouldn't take more than 5 minutes to make. Um, a great breakfast. You know, who says you have to have certain things for breakfast? I mix it up. I don't care what I have. It could be lunch, dinner. Well, generally, I only eat two meals, but um, forget the labels of what you're supposed to have for breakfast or for dinner. Have whatever you have in your refrigerator. Or like if I had some red beets, I would probably grate some a beet into this, or if I didn't have a pepper, I would have cut up a tomato in there. Just get all the flavors in: salty, sweet, sour, and fatty, and you'll be happy. And whoever you're making food for will be happy too. So, okay, that's my meal for today. Have a great rest of your day. May your body be filled with vitality and that sense of like you're just ready to jump in and be alive.